So, hi, dear students and NEET aspirants. Good afternoon once again. So, here comes the second session. So, yesterday we stopped with this question. So, we'll continue for next 10 questions today. So, this is the session number 2 in our revision part. So, let us continue with the next question. So, the next question here it comes. So, hope this is giving some help for your preparation. So, if you have any doubts, any student having any doubts, means so you please feel free to uh, comment in the video, comment on the video comments there. And if you ask your doubts or your requirements, then I'll try to uh, record a video on the same topic, right? So it is all for your help only. So please make use of it. And as I already said, the small favor from your side is please subscribe, share, like it, and also uh, give your comments. Right? Thank you. So let us go to the next question for today. So here is the next question. This question yesterday we have done. So this is the next question. So the products of reaction of alcoholic silver nitrite with ethyl bromide. So alcoholic silver nitrate and ethyl bromide. So ethyl bromide C2H5Br and alcoholic silver nitrate. So silver nitrite means AgNO2. At AgNO2, you can write in this manner. So and here in silver nitrite, again it is a covalent salt only, covalent compound. So there nitrogen holds the key. That means it is the reactive center. So with alkyl halide, so here ethyl bromide, he said. So C2H5Br. So that alkyl part will be reacting with that nitrogen. So that nitro group NO2, okay, that nitro group will be attached to the carbon chain. Okay, that nitrogen will be attached to it. So accordingly, we'll get nitroalkane. Okay, that nitroalkane will be coming, and that will be our major product. Okay, and ethyl nitrite also will be coming ONO. So that will be the minor product because it is a covalent compound. Nitrogen holds the key. That means that it will be the reactive center. So the nitrogen will attach to the carbon chain. Okay, so the answer will be option C, right? So option C you'll be getting here. So and this is what the reaction is, right? So you are getting two products. So it is the major product is nitroethane and the minor product is ethyl nitrite. Okay. So in minor product you can see this is oxygen is the reaction part, reactive center, right? So that is a first question for today. And now let us move on to the next one. So here is the next question. Carbon halogen bond is strongest among the following. Carbon halogen bond. So the strongest bond will be having the smallest bond length. Smallest bond length, strongest bond. So we can see here carbon chlorine bond is there, carbon bromine, and here carbon fluorine, and here carbon iodine, right? So definitely carbon fluorine is the smaller one. So and that will be the stronger bonding here, right? Stronger carbon halogen bond. So that is why answer is option C once again, right? So this is the key point you have to note down here. So bond strength is directly proportional to the bond order. and inversely proportional to the bond length. That is the key point we are using to give the answers. So let us move on to the third question for today. Next question is here. So what is the product of the following reaction? So here we have a dihalobenzene and which is reacting with magnesium in the presence of ether, right? So generally, if I take a monohalobenzene, that will give you Grignard reaction. And magnesium here, with magnesium, that will be a free radical reaction, we say, right? So here, in this case, what happens is both chlorine and bromine can react at a time. Okay. So because we haven't mentioned magnesium for only one equivalent. If you say only one equivalent, then bromine will come first. Okay, because carbon bromine bond is bigger one, right? So here that was not mentioned, so we have to consider both are reacting, and we have excess of reagent over there. So both chlorine and bromine at a time getting into the reaction. So it leads to the formation of a benzyne intermediate. Okay, so I'll show you here. Option C will be our answer, and how that option C we got means here like this. Okay, so first magnesium will go for bromine, but chlorine that also will come out. Okay, because when it is a bromine removed, that carbon getting the negative charge, so immediately chlorine also will come out as chloride ion. So that's why here a benzyne formation will be taking place. Benzyne intermediate we get now. Okay, and through benzyne the reaction will be proceeding. Right? Through benzyne the reaction will proceed like this. So when benzyne intermediate is there, that will react with the other molecule and its benzene ring, and it produces that compound C. Right? So we get a compound C as the product. Okay, final product. Right, guys. So that is the question number 4. So let us move on to the next question. Question number 3 it is, right? So next question. So this is the next question. Question number 4 for today. So what is the product of the reactions? So here I have haloarine. Okay, haloarine is there. So haloarine generally doesn't undergo nucleophilic substitutions. We all know that. Okay. So here NaSH, that means it is an aqueous solution of sodium thiol. Okay. So SH, right? So here NaSH minus ion is the nucleophile, but that is not a stronger nucleophile, right? So which cannot replace that fluoride ion, so that is not happening. And we have a nucleophiles. Nucleophiles cannot react with benzene. So that means that there won't be any reaction taking place in this particular process. Okay, no reaction comes here. So no reaction. So option D, because nucleophiles cannot attack the benzene ring, and also there is a haloarine which cannot involve in nucleophilic substitutions under normal conditions. Okay, if you can maintain extreme conditions, then there is a chance of getting a nucleophilic substitution, but we have not mentioned anything. So that means we have to consider it as a normal condition. So under normal condition, nucleophilic substitutions won't come for halo array, right? So that is the question number 4. Next, question number 5. So DDT is prepared by the reaction of chlorobenzene with. So DDT, I think that you might heard, right? In alkyl halides chapter also it will come, and even in aldehydes ketones, carbonyl compounds chapter also it will come, right? Uh, it is prepared by the reaction of chlorobenzene with. So chlorobenzene with which of the following compounds on reaction with gives DDT, dichloro diphenyl trichloroacetaldehyde. That is the DDT abbreviation. Okay. So dichloro diphenyl trichloroacetaldehyde. Dichloro diphenyl and trichloroacetaldehyde. So the preparation of DDT will be done using chloral, that is trichloroacetaldehyde. The trichloroacetaldehyde is chloral. That is the commercial name for that, right? So that chloral means a CCl3CHO, right? So this CCl3CHO, when it is reacting with chlorobenzene 2 moles, it will undergo nucleophilic addition reaction on carbonyl carbon to give us the dichloro diphenyl trichloro acetaldehyde. Okay, DDT, right? So answer is option A, that is chloral. So CCl3CHO is the answer, and the reaction I'll show you just a minute. So here is the reaction. Okay, so this is how it will react. So that chlorophenyl group that will attach to the carbonyl carbon to give us DDT. Okay, so that is the answer option A. So chloral. So that is the question number 5. Now let us move to the next question number 6. So here is the question. So here benzene diol, two CHO groups of benzene. So and it is heated with 50% KOH, and we are getting compound A. So what is that compound A? What is the major product he's asking? So when alpha hydrogen is there on any carbonyl compound, when it is heated with 50% NuOH or KOH, it will go for aldyl condenses that we all know. If there is no alpha hydrogen not present, then it goes for Cannizzaro reaction. Okay, so here Cannizzaro reaction will be taking place. So that means one of that CHO group will get oxidized and the other CHO group will get reduced. Okay, so one of that will get oxidized, the other one will get reduced. So one of it will convert into carboxylic part and the other one will convert into alcohol. So here you can give the answer option C, because in that case one of that is reduced CH2OH they have written, and the other one is oxidized, that is COO minus and K plus they have written. So it is option C, that is the correct answer for you, right? So that is option C, and this is a intramolecular Cannizzaro reaction. So generally Cannizzaro reaction will be taking place between two different aldehydes or ketones which are not having alpha hydrogen. So but now within the same molecule it is happening. So that's why we call it as intramolecular. Okay, intramolecular Cannizzaro reaction, right? So that is your question number 6. Now let us go to the next question. Here it is. The isomeric alcohol which has a chiral carbon atom. So chiral carbon means the carbon with all 4 different groups attached to it. Okay. So that means we should write the structure of these alcohols. N-butyl alcohol means 1-butanol. Okay. 1-butanol means it is not having any chiral carbons. All the carbons are, sorry guys, here it is, right? So all the carbons are having uh, some at least 2 hydrogens in common. Okay, so when it comes to that isobutyl alcohol, there also we'll see. So N-butyl alcohol first we'll write. So this is N-butyl alcohol. So here I don't have any chiral carbon in here. So next, isobutyl alcohol means we have isobutyl. That means this one. So this is isobutyl group. Here OH group is there. So it is also not having any chiral carbons. And when it comes to secondary butyl, this is secondary carbon. Okay, this is secondary butyl alcohol. So there, that hydrogen, that carbon, it is chiral carbon. So here I have four different groups attached to this carbon. So it is the chiral carbon, and that will be our answer. So we'll see that option D also, tertiary butyl alcohol. So tertiary butyl alcohol means the hydroxyl group must be attached with a tertiary carbon like this. So here this is the tertiary carbon, and here we have OH group attached. So that is tertiary butyl alcohol. So here also we don't have chiral carbon present in it. Okay, so that is the question number 7. And next question. So here is the next question. The pair of enantiomers among the following compounds is. So here they have given some compounds. Okay, so in these compounds, first for getting enantiomers, we must know their absolute configuration. That means you have to write RS configuration for all these compounds. Okay, and that RS. Okay, for all these are same compounds, right? All these are same compounds only, but the position of that atoms are different. That is our only change. So two different configures, the configurational isomers, they are enantiomers. That means R configuration and S configuration, which are mirror images, which can be the mirror images. Okay, or just simply saying RS configures. Okay, on RS configurations, those are enantiomers. Okay, let us uh, give that as let us assign that R and S configurations for this compounds. Okay, so based on that, if you see here, hydrogen will be the least prior group. So that is a fourth prior group. So this is fourth prior. So bromine will be the first prior group, and phenyl will be the second prior group, and methyl will be the third prior group. Okay. So 1, 2, 3. Now they are in clockwise manner. So, and hydrogen is on the horizontal axis. Okay, 1, 2, 3 in clockwise and hydrogen on horizontal axis. So it will be S configuration for this. Okay, right? Because hydrogen is on horizontal axis. That's why a clockwise means S configuration here. So next, again here hydrogen in the second compound is on horizontal axis, and again you assign the numbers 1, 2, 3 priorities. Again I have 1, 2, 3 in clockwise only. Okay, so again this is S isomer only. Okay, so that is a S configuration only. So next here we'll check. So here hydrogen is on vertical axis, right? So fourth prior group on vertical axis. So next 1, 2, 3 will assign now 1, 2, and 3. So if you see that 1, 2, 3, they are again in clockwise manner only. So and this will come out as R configuration because the least prior group is on the vertical axis. Okay, right? Next, fourth compound will check. Okay, here also hydrogen is on vertical axis, that is the fourth prior group. So next, bromine is the first priority, phenyl second priority, and methyl third priority. Okay, so it is in anti-clockwise manner. So anti-clockwise means S configuration. Okay, anti-clockwise is S configuration, right? So now here R and S configuration. So 2 and 3 they can be enantiomers because remaining combinations cannot be enantiomers. They are the same compounds. So 2 and 3 can be enantiomers, or 3 and 4 can be enantiomers. Okay, that was not given. Uh, Next, 1 and 3 also can be enantiomers. Okay, that was not given. Okay, so the answer is only C, right? 2 and 3 are enantiomers because R configuration and S configuration we are getting. So that is the answer. So option C will be our answer here. Right, and let us check it. So that is what is given here. So our answer is on option C. Okay. So that is the question number 8. So whenever this kind of questions are there, so you write the configurations and check for R and S. Okay. That R and S isomers will be our enantiomers here. Okay. No? Right. That is question number 8. And next question will go forward. So this is the next question. Question number 9. So due to benzene having a cloud of delocalized electrons, the molecule is more stable, and this stability generated by delocalization is known as what type of energy? So we all know this, that is called as resonance energy. So benzene is having higher resonance energies. So that is why it is getting that stability, right? So that is why answer is option C. Very simple question, right? So let us go to the last question for this session. So this is it. So the molecule of benzene can undergo a chemical reaction known as nitration. To carry out this reaction, there is need for the presence of two concentrated acids. Nitric acid is one, and what is the other acid? Okay, that is the question. So he has given the options citric acid, sulfuric acid, and hydrochloric acid and propanoic acid. So we all know for doing the nitration, we are taking a nitration mixture, which is a combination of concentrated sulfuric acid and nitric acid. Okay. So that concentrated sulfuric acid is the other acid we require now. Okay, for doing the nitration on benzene. Right. So the answer is again very simple question. Option B is the right answer. Okay. So that's all for session 2. So tomorrow we'll meet once again in session 3. So there also we'll discuss some more, and it will continue every day till you write your NEET exam. Okay. So hope this will help you out. And once again, I'll ask you a favor. Please subscribe our channel and make use of it. And also you can comment whatever doubts you are having or whichever chapter or any concept you require, that also you can ask us, so that I will make some videos on the same topic. Right, guys? So thank you.